Dr. Hassan.
Good to see you again, Corey. How are you? That's where I'm at. We've got 5 packages on the table. I've been thinking about them kind of as frameworks.
But my team has gotten me up to speed with them.
Yeah. So I'm happy to hear what you have in mind.
Well, the good news here is that up front, we are going to be doing better than what Zums is going to be doing. We're going to be putting more money into your medication up front than they are. Their offer is $20 million. Mm-hmm. Our upfront investment on our end is going to be $22 million. We're going to be funding the FDA approval process at 10, and we want to give you 12 additional upfront. Now we know that that's not as much as obviously the Zums case or the Zums offer is in the upfront. On the tail end of that, when we get this approved, you're going to get a huge bonus. It's going to be $20 million. So total package for you is going to be 32.
Okay.
And this is going to make sure that we really hammer home that FDA approval process.
With all due respect, I don't see how you can justify only giving me $20 million of that FDA-approved profit share.
Okay, what do you mean by that?
If we are, let's say it's at a 35% chance that it gets FDA approved.
Okay.
35% of 120 million is $42 million. I don't see why I shouldn't get at least half of that. It's my product, and we're both bringing the same amount to the table. I appreciate you've got the supply logistics and the distribution network, which obviously I wouldn't be speaking, but I've got the product, and so I think it should be a mutual partnership. I think that $20 million offer, especially considering your optimism at the FDA approval process, is much lower than I would expect.
Well, even if
whether it's from you or from Zums,
yep,
I do have a very highly invested interest in getting it approved, and I would rather not take a lump sum of money, but I will not be taking any less than $20 million up front. It doesn't make sense to me.
And I totally understand where you're coming from. From a straight cash perspective, it is not something that I can do to go to $20 million. And I understand that there is a expected value. One of the things that our board just won't be looking at is if there is a downside to us, they really are going to want to have a guarantee, and that's why I'm pretty firm at the 12 up front. But that's why I'm heavily loading the upside when this thing succeeds.
Okay, so I strongly disagree with you that to use the word heavily loading on a $20 million payout for an FDA approval on a $120 million profit. So your math is not adding up. If you want to have a heavy payout, then we can split the $72 million. We can split the $72 million pie, if you will, that's going to be created with a $120 million payout. $120 million payout. If you remove the $20 million that I'm owed anyway, we split 50-50 on the $100 million. So that magnitude is much greater than the $20 million you're using as your high upside. So if you're not budging on the 12, then we're going to need to talk about a much different number on the 20 that you're offering.
So 32 in total on 120, you're getting almost a quarter of the profit.
Why would I only get a quarter?
I want to let you know that we can't really do much, at least on the upfront. Maybe on the bonus. But what we actually were wanting to offer you, because we get the feeling from all of our talks, you are such a passionate inventor and that you really do believe in what you're doing. We'd actually like you to come on board to be a special. What we're just saying is,
one of these packages is $30 million in total license.
Yeah.
But nothing's guaranteed, right? You're guaranteeing me 12. You're banding about 32 as if it's money in hand. It's not. There's a risk associated with the FDA approval process.
And now you're seeing what we're seeing. There's a risk associated with the process, and yes, $20 million is the break-even point. But if we can't get the approval process, we need to be making something on this deal, and that's why we're hesitant to the point where we can't go higher than that.
Okay, I thought that Zinkit was a company with a little more vision than that, to be honest. That you could see the upside in a project. With a zero downside, you'll put in the $10 million, you'll return that. So your company will put resources behind it, yes, but from a financial perspective, you're breaking even.
We can't afford to just break even. on our projects.
Okay, well, like I said, again, we're gonna be at an impasse, because $20 million is my starting point from the cash. And then I anticipated talking about, the FDA approval upside. So, again, unless we can talk about a much higher number than the $20 million at FDA approval, $12 million is a non-starter.
All right. I think then we might have to call it off here. If anything does change,